Hello and welcome back, dear students. Before I start with this last chapter of online ground classes, I want to take a moment to thank each one of you for being with me during the lectures. We have come so far in course in these last 2 days of theoretical classes. I expect your same attention and enthusiasm that you all have shown in this last session of the course as well. Let us continue this learning process and enjoy the last chapter of the course, which is about Introduction to Drone Data and Analysis, chapter number 10. Introduction to Drone Data and Analysis. So, what do you understand by this drone data and analysis? The drones are equipped with a variety of sensors such as cameras, lidar sensor, means light detection and ranging sensor, thermal imaging sensor, multispectral sensor, hyperspectral imaging sensor. These all sensors, or you can say a very specialized and advanced types of cameras, enables the drone to capture a very high resolution images, and these high resolution images are a kind of data to the drone from which a very important and useful information can be extracted. Drone data and analysis basically refers to the process of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting the data which a drone collects. The data which is collected by the drones can be used for various applications such as surveying, mapping, agriculture, construction, inspection of infrastructures such as pipelines, power lines, bridges, railways, and etc. The very fundamental thing which plays importance is principles of observation. Observation, from the very beginning of our study days, observation as a term, we know it can be defined as simply the process of collecting the information using our senses. We human have senses like eyes through which we can observe the events which are taking place physically before us, and then based upon our observation we can develop our interpretations and opinions based on the results. So the same thing happens in the case of drone data and analysis as well. The entire drone data and analysis process is basically relies upon the principles of observation. Principle of observation is also has been a fundamental method of scientific inquiry across many fields. Some principles of observation are as follows. One is the objectivity. When you want to execute this process of observation to interpret any data and want to develop some result out of your study and observation, one should take care of few important points. The number one is the objectivity. Objectivity is very essential in the observation process. It means observing and recording the data without personal bias or without affecting the data with our personal interest, and observers should have a very clear objectivity to ensure the accuracy and the reliability of the final results. Then comes accuracy. Accuracy is critical to ensure that the data collected is reliable and it could be used for various analysis and interpretation purpose. Consistency. Consistency is the another among the important principles of observation. Consistency tells us that different observers, if they have used the same method of collecting the data, then at the last they should have obtained a similar results, and there should not be any difference in their interpretations. Reliability term refers to the ability to obtain a consistent results over the time. To ensure this reliability, observations should be conducted using the standard methods and equipments so that the variations in the data can be minimized. Validity. Observations must be valid to ensure that the data collected can be used to draw accurate conclusions about the phenomena which is being studied. Ethics. Observations must be collected in an ethical manner, which means the researchers must ensure that their observations do not harm or exploit the subject, which is a focus of observation. And they must take care that it is not exploited and should have obtained informed consent. I mean, if there is any consent required, they should obtain a consent to capture their subject. Okay, what is meant by the image and video interpretation? Image and video interpretation are the important techniques in various fields such as the remote sensing, the surveillance, and the security. These techniques involve the analysis and interpretation of the data collected by cameras, satellites, and various other picture capturing devices. Let us discuss about the elements of image and video interpretation. Here are the elements of image and video interpretation. What is the resolution? Next is the color, the texture, the shape, size, pattern, shadow, and the context. We shall look into it one by one. Resolution. Resolution is one of the elements of image and video interpretation, and it refers to the level of the detail that can be seen in an image or a video. If we have the higher resolution, it means the more detail can be seen. In the picture on a screen on the right side, we can see the left side of the image of a flower is of high resolution, therefore it is clear in vision. However, on the right side, the flower has a blurred vision. The flower has a blurred vision. It is a measure of the number of the pixels in an image or a video. And it is typically resolution can also be defined as a measure of the number of pixels in an image or a video. And it is typically expressed as the number of pixels per unit area. There are two types of resolutions. One is the spatial resolution and the another is spectral resolution. In the image on the screen, we can see how a less number of pixel belongs to a low resolution image and how higher number of pixels in an image defines a high resolution image. The 5 dpi or 5 dots per inch or pixel which is present has a very blurred circle, and we could not make a difference in the boundaries of the circle, and we could not even guess that it is the circle which is captured by a 5 dpi resolution camera. However, in the next images which are of 10 dpi, 20 dpi, 72 dpi and the 300 dpi, we can see the improvement of the shape of a circle, and the final 300 dpi is a very, very clear and clean circle which is visible to us. So with resolution we can understand this, that on the ground, let's say if let us say a picture is being taken by a drone or maybe a camera which is installed in the aircraft, vertically downwards it wants to take a snap of a surface and objects exactly below that aircraft. Then a higher number of pixels if present in the camera, means a high resolution camera, can pick up the object on the ground very clearly. On the screen, the image shows the picture from low resolution to high resolution. The 5 dpi picture is of a very low resolution. However, the next 10, 20, 72 and 300 dpi are of increasing resolution camera, and we can easily observe that a 5 dpi image is not capable to show the exact shape of a circle. However, the shape of a circle becomes clearer and clean as we acquire a higher resolution camera. So high resolution camera is capable of picking up a very detail of any feature or detail of any object which is on the ground, and let's say if the aircraft or a drone is trying to capture that, then a high resolution camera can give a very detailed image. Spatial resolution we can understand that it refers to a measure of the smallest object that can be resolved by the sense. Means high spatial resolution means more detailed at a smaller pixel size. However, a low spatial resolution means less detailed image having larger pixel size. So more number of pixel if they are present in the image, it means the more clear image. It is important in the remote sensing and satellite imagery because in this it can be used to distinguish between the different land cover types, vegetations, and various other features on the ground. Is on the other hand, we have a spectral resolution. Spectral resolution describes the amount of spectral detail in a band. Means high spectral resolution image meets spectral resolution. Spectral resolution, on the other hand, describes the amount of spectral detail in a band. High spectral resolution means its bands are narrower. However, a low spectral resolution has a broader bands covering the more spectra. Spectral resolution typically measured in terms of the number of bands or the channels that an imaging system can capture. The other element of image and video interpretation is a color. Color is an important element. It can help the observer while studying the image to easily identify if the subject in the image is a water body or elevated surface of a land, or if it is a, we can see in the image, the black grayish lining is refers to a road. However, a dark blue color is a water, and the brown surface is a land, which have some spots of green zones. Which shows some vegetation or plants. The texture refers to the surface characteristics of an object in an image or video. Textures can provide important informations about the object being viewed, such as the roughness or the smoothness of a surface. On the image, we can see at the left bottom corner, this triangle shows where the trees are standing as individual trees, and they are very big and also away from each other. However, the another triangle which is on the bottom right shows that much of the land is green and open field, and there are very less trees which are present. However, the another portion of the same image which is on top right corner is the area which is covered by very close trees. The distance between the trees are very less and they are very close to each other. So this is how a texture refers to the surface characteristics. And by just having an understanding of the various textures and do they mean, one can easily make a guess if the surface is rough or a smooth or which kind of surface is that. The next is the shape, which is the another important element in the image and video interpretation. The shape of any object give a very important information about its identity and characteristics. We can see the buildings and the man-made houses. These all are mostly triangular or square or rectangular kind of shapes when viewed from the top, and they have very well sharp boundaries. However, the trees can be viewed as very unspecific boundaries, and they are of unspecific shapes, right? So one can easily make a difference which are the trees and which are the man-made buildings and which are the roads. Size gives us a lot of idea about the subject in the image. One can easily understand from this image that the flyovers which are very narrow and which flyovers are much wider and covering much of the area. So one can easily understand this information. Patterns are the arrangement or distribution of visual elements such as lines, shapes, colors, and textures in an image. On the right side of the screen, the image shows the different spots of green color field and the different brown color fields. The field which is of dark green means that it is very well watered and the plants or trees are very well nourished in this area. However, and also the water content is very high in the images, in the image area land which is of dark brown color. The light brown color are the type of soil which is of, you can say, the less water content. So a lot of information one can easily get from this. Shadows also gives us a very important information, like a camel was standing and it is photographed from the above. Very difficult to understand without knowing, without having a shadow of this animal, that this animal is a camel. But by just looking at the shadow, one can easily say that this is the camel that is standing. In remote sensing, shadows can be used to estimate the height and the elevation of object or a feature. Next come the another important topic, which is introduction to photogrammetry. Photogrammetry is the science and technology of extracting the 3D information about objects and terrain from the photographs. Photogrammetry involves the use of various photos, and then they are processed in the specialized softwares to measure the distance between the objects, the position, the size, the shape, which various information about the object can be drawn by just making use of all photographs and then taking it to a mapping software, and it can develop, this information can help develop a 3D model of a particular area or a city. There are two main types of photogrammetry, aerial and terrestrial. Aerial photogrammetry, as the name gives us lot of clarity in understanding that the photographs are taken vertically and from the top. However, in the terrestrial photogrammetry, the pictures are taken not vertically but horizontally. And in terrestrial photogrammetry, the photographs are taken from the ground air using the handheld cameras. Aerial photogrammetry involves taking the photographs through by using airplanes or drones or many satellites. These photographs which are taken, what should I say, in photogrammetry, these photographs are overlapped with each other. An image which is basically a orthomosaic map, and one can easily see the outcome of when the various images taken by the drones or an aircraft are stitched together. These were the overlapping images, and through the software, when they are stitched together, they can give us the complete map of a particular area. And with this, a lot of information can be drawn, which is very helpful for a purpose when somebody wants to survey the area which is not easily accessible. It is important and the right time to know about the orthomosaic maps. The orthomosaic map is a high-resolution geo-referenced aerial images that has been collected for lens distortion, camera-tipped perspective, and topographic relief. Orthomosaic map is created by stitching together a series of overlapping aerial images which are taken by or obtained by using the drones or aircraft. These gives us the accurate map of the target area. The process of creating these orthomosaic maps involves several steps, including capturing the aerial images first. A series of overlapping aerial images are captured. Then these images, it is ensured that must be sufficient to get overlap, and there is no important zone of a particular area which is missing. And georeferencing is the next step after capturing these images. Georeferencing means each image is georeferenced, which involves assigning geographic coordinates to each pixel in the image. This allows the images to be accurately positioned and aligned with the other images so that a seamless map can be created. Okay. Next step is image processing. The aerial images are processed using specialized software to correct for distortions such as perspective and terrain relief. The images are then stitched together to create a seamless map. The next step is a color correction. The colors of the orthomosaic map may be adjusted to ensure that they are accurate and consistent. Now we shall discuss the applications of photogrammetry. Photogrammetry is used for the topographic mapping, the urban planning and development, surveying and land management, forestry and agriculture. It is used for archaeology and cultural heritage documentation, mining and mineral exploration, engineering and construction, film and video game production, environmental monitoring and management, 3D modeling and visualization. So, with this, we can understand the importance of the photogrammetry and so much of applications. And this is why the drones have now become very important tool for creating these maps for the purpose of so much of applications. Types of image and video data. There are several types of image and video data, each with its own characteristics and applications. The RGB image that has various applications for photography, computer vision, remote sensing. Then the another type of image is a grayscale image, and these images are used for the applications where the color is not a necessary thing and it is not going to affect the ultimate observation and interpretation of certain image. Infrared images has an application for heat mapping, remote sensing, surveillance purpose. Multispectral images gives the more detailed information as it cover wider range of spectrum and can tell us about the chemical composition of the object or the temperature of the object. Hyperspectral images are more informative compared to this multispectral as they cover a much wider range comparatively. Time-lapse videos. Time-lapse videos are those which are used in the environmental monitoring, construction and scientific research. And 360-degree videos are used for virtual reality and immersive experiences. So this was all about the type of image and video data. I hope that the various importance of the drone data is now well understood and one can easily see a very promising approach, So this was all about this chapter, Introduction to Drone Data and Analysis. And I hope that this chapter has given you a very good insight into the understanding of what is basically a meaning of this drone data and what is the importance of photogrammetry, what are the important elements of image and video interpretation, how these elements helps the person who wants to execute the analysis on these data to develop a very complete and informative maps. For example, orthomosaic maps. So with this, I would like to thank you for staying connected and we shall see you for the offline ground training very soon. Thank you, everyone.